Call this meeting to order. Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, 7 p.m., City of Somerton regular council meeting. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Councilman Roldan, can you lead us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Gerardo Anaya.
Present.
Castillo.
Present.
Councilmember Carlos Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilmember Jesus Roldan.
Present.
Councilmember Luis Galindo.
Present.
Councilmember Marta Garcia. Present. Councilmember Miguel Villalpando.
Present.
Quorum.
Thank you. Call to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address council?
Mayor and Council, Jorge Lozano, Chief Personnel Officer. Before we begin, this afternoon, I want to introduce to you Raul Perez, who is a recent hire here with the city, and he's with the IT Help Desk, and you'll see him providing support to council this afternoon. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Alexis Liggett. I've been attending, my address is 16500 South Avenue A half, Summerton, Arizona, 85350. I have been attending the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting for a few months now. And as I had mentioned in my letter of interest, I am very much interested in serving on the Parks and Recreation Commission. With all that has transpired with my intention, and now a call that I received earlier today, it is clear that God has other plans for me for now. With that said, I'll make it clear once again that I will continue to attend the meetings and help where I can, and look forward to seeing all the newly appointed commissioners at the meetings and serving the commission as they'd intended. You all seem to have a big decision tonight to make, but I'm sure either person's interested in also serving the commission will be awesome, as I can see they are longtime residents. So I wanted to officially withdraw my letter of intent, but again, I will still be here attending the meetings and look forward to spending more time here in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody from the public? Anybody else? Okay, moving on to consent agenda, we have 4 items. Approval of check register for the month of June 2021. Approval of ratification of amended contract between Western Arizona Council of Governments and City of Somerton for fiscal year 2020-2021 for senior meals program. Approval of renewal of MOU between Western Arizona Council of Governments and City of Summerton for bill assistance for heating, cooling for fiscal year 2021-2022. Approval to amend the Parkview Commerce Center final plat, a city-owned commercial subdivision located at 1298 West Main Street to combine Lot 7 and Lot 8 as a single property and rename such as Lot 7. Does any member of council wish to remove an item from consent agenda? Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as stated.
There's a motion by Vice Mayor Castillo.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilman Gonzalez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to old business. Discussion of possible action to approve ordinance number 2021-006 and ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Somerton fixing, levying, and assessing primary property taxes upon property within the city of Somerton, subject to taxation, each in a certain sum upon each $100 of valuation, sufficient to raise the amount estimated to be required in the annual budget for the fiscal year 2021 through 2022, less the amounts estimated to be received from other sources of revenue and the unencumbered balances from the previous fiscal year. providing a general fund and fixing, levying, and assessing upon properties within the boundaries of City of Somerton, to include improvement districts subject to taxation, all for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2022.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. Serena Gallegos, Finance Director. I'm here before you today for your motion and approval of the 2022 tax levy. The maximum amount of that we are able to levy this year is $740,602 at a rate of 1.6547. We are also able to levy anywhere between the minimum amount, which is $697,859, and at a rate of 1.5592. So I have both. Let me find them. Calculations before you, which will show you the. Are you moving it or am I moving it, Andrea? Sorry.
Let me know which one you need.
Okay, so this first one, can you make it a little smaller? Thank you. This has the 740,602 assessed valuation at a 1.65 rate. So I believe based on the conversations that you've had with the city manager, you're more inclined to levy the 720,000, which is a 1.6087 rate.
Mayor and Council, we're recommending to alternatively, instead of doing the maximum amount levied, we're recommending to the 1.6087, which would levy the $720,000. So it's just a difference of $20,000 from the 740.
Yes. Can you scroll down to the lesser, all the way down to the next one? So that would have an impact of $4.95 for every 100,000 in valuation.
Any questions, comments?
So the recommendation is the 720, right?
That is correct.
Any further questions or comments? Can I entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mayor, to approve a proposed primary property tax levy at $720,000.
So motion by Councilman Roldan.
Hold on, Mayor and Council. Can we rephrase the motion? The motion is to approve the ordinance as presented, which is that amount that you stated.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance 2021-006.
The motion by Councilman Roldan. Second by Councilman Galindo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business. Discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2021-010, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Summerton, amending the City of Somerton Personnel Policy Handbook 2020 by authorizing the following changes. Amending section 705, starting salary plan, adding appendix A, salary schedule, adding appendix B, position salary grade.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jorge Lozano, acting as the Chief Personnel Officer. At a previous council meeting, Mayor and Council approved for the first time a salary schedule for the City of Somerton. Because of that, there needed to be a change in our personnel policy handbook. Section 705, which states starting salary plan. There was a reference in that section to salaries being set at 80% of similar positions in the city of Yuma. And so the proposal with this resolution is to reword that section to eliminate any references to such. Andrea, can you scroll down to the section that has that one? So you can see on this slide showing on your monitor the proposed language. Essentially, it's a strikeout of the references to the city of Summerton. To the city of Yuma. In addition, we're requesting to add Appendix A and Appendix B to our personal policy manual now that we have the salary schedule and the salary grades. You can scroll down to the appendices or, I'm sorry. Yeah, the resolution itself. Appendix A is the grade and the levels that you approved, and Appendix B essentially is the position, the department, and the grade level. So because those were approved at the prior meeting, we're asking simply, this is adding to the handbook. Any questions on this item, Mayor and Council?
Questions or comments?
Staff is recommending a motion to approve resolution number 2021-011.
Councilman Villalpando.
Jorge, on the Appendix B, you guys allocated certain positions to that a corresponding pay scale. Was that done through a committee or was it just done by staff? And the reason I'm asking is a while back, we had established a committee to review all these positions and making sure that the job descriptions were adequate. And so I've never heard of whether that got accomplished or not. So there's a little bit of concern on my end as far as we're getting ready to implement salaries for each position, but we've never finished doing the position reviews.
Councilman Villalpando, yes, thank you. On that particular item, yes, you're correct. There was a committee that was established consisting of the finance director, the city manager, myself, the magistrate, the payroll officer or payroll clerk, and also our HR specialist, along with yourself and I believe another council member.
It wasn't me.
No, it was
not for the. This was for the job description.
Okay, so that the items that we tackled in that committee were the pay grade and the salary schedule, the positions and the review of what each position entitles. That is still a work in progress. So essentially, this is simply putting in writing in our handbook what was voted on at the previous council meeting. But yes, you're correct. We do have work to do on reviewing all the positions.
Okay, so these salaries, when are they going to take an effect and right away?
For our personal policy handbook, it states that any of the new cost of living adjustment, because there's combination cost of living adjustment plus a adjustment of some of the salaries, they take effective the first, basically the first pay period in July, which is last month.
I mean, I'm a little torn. I mean, I understand that we've worked on this for a long time, but quite honestly, I still think that that committee that was established to review these job descriptions needs to finish what they started or the intent, which was actually reviewing these positions. Now, my question would be, if that committee still meets and there's changes that can be done, we could bring this back and adjust it either up or down, whatever.
That is correct, Councilman Villalpando. Whatever the committee or the ideas that you can bring forward in the committee, those can always be implemented. And these type of documents, they're living documents. They can change with time and they can be amended as council sees fit.
All right. Well, and this is just at least my 2 cents. I hope that we still proceed with that committee to review these job descriptions. But other than that, I'll make the motion to approve.
And I would like to add to that. I would like to see something done within the next 6 months before we start talking budget and other salary adjustments and for next fiscal year. So if we don't have that before 6 months, I would like to have that, because then there's going to be issues with because we had requested that prior to this. Okay, there's a motion by Councilman Villalpando.
I'll second that.
Second by Councilman Gonzalez. Also in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, discussion of possible action to approve resolution number 2021-011, a resolution of the mayor and city council, City of Somerton, authorizing and directing that fee title and other interest to certain real property located at 851 West Main Street be acquired by the City of Somerton by dedication, donation, purchase, exchange, or under the power of eminent domain as a matter of public necessity, and approving settlement of any pending condemnation litigation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jorge Lozano, City Attorney. On this particular item, city staff has identified the property located at 851 West Main Street as necessary to carry out future projects that will become beneficial to the City of Somerton. Essentially, the city is in need of upgrading the intersection on the corner of Cesar Chavez Avenue and Main Street, as well as expanding the community center to have a shelter in place for future disasters and or pandemics. Other possibilities are parking amenities and essentially any project that City Council identifies as being beneficial. Title report and appraisal of the property has been obtained. Staff needs approval of a resolution to start the purchasing process or to obtain this property through condemnation. The financial impact to the city is no more than $250,000. And I think this is an item that's been budgeted and identified in our current budget. Up on the screen, you will see the property that we're talking about. This is the property next to the pool, the community center. Obtaining this property, the city would essentially own the entire block. And I think for future growth and needs of the city, that's the property that you would be acquiring if the resolution goes forward. Questions on the item?
Mayor, if we were to buy the property, can we go ahead and sell it if we need to? Like,
Mayor and Council, I'll be well. No, unfortunately not. If we purchase a property, it is for public use only. And the public use would be for any pandemic that we would have. And the community center will be the area that we would house our residents. Saying that, currently we do not have enough parking space in the area for any future or any pandemic per se. We don't have the space to put people in, and this is the only location that we will be able to make sure that there's accessibility to the community center by having that parking lot. But we won't be able to sell that at that point.
So at this stage, we haven't approached the owner to discuss it, right?
No, we as soon as if the resolution goes forward, then our economic development director can reach out and start the negotiations. If we buy it straight out, then there are no limitations on what can go there. And yes, if the council decides to sell in the future, then they're correct, they can do so. If we proceed with condemnation, then there are limitations on the what we can do with that property. And obviously that is also dependent on the funding. So
The funding that we use.
All we're asking for at this point is simply to obtain the property, and maybe we don't know what plans we have here or until next budget, but that's a step forward in making our community safer and prepared for anything that comes at us.
Your question or comments?
I mean, I do see the need for us as a city to kind of enter into that negotiation to see if it's possible. I mean, just the location of it. I mean, it is needed. So with that, I mean, I can make the motion to approve resolution number 2021-011.
Motion by Vice Mayor Castillo,
I'll second that motion.
second by Councilman Roldan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2021-012, a resolution of the mayor and city council approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement with the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona from its Drinking Water Revolving Fund program, delegating the determination of certain matters relating to the manager, the public works director, the finance director of the city, providing for the transfer of certain monies and making certain covenants and agreements with respect thereto, authorizing the taking of all other actions necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by such loan agreements and this resolution, and declaring an emergency.
Mayor and Council, this is the main water line that will serve the high school area, including any future development on the north.
That completes your presentation.
Well, it's been approved already. It was approved several months ago, and now it's at a portion of the time that we will need to make sure that the resolution. You want to approve the resolution?
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Oh,
Councilman
okay.
Villalpando.
Sorry about that. For the construction of a new 10-inch PVC water main and a 12-inch PVC water main, water valves and 8 fire hydrants, and the payment of the city's proportionate share of the expenses for project and any bonds used by the authority. This is to serve the Parkview, obviously, Commerce Center and Summerton High School improvements. The loan and the loan repayment payable to the city pursuant to the loan agreement will be secured by a pledge of net revenues of the city's complete sewer and waterworks plant and systems. Resolution 2021-012 authorizes the city to enter into and to perform the loan agreement whereby the city will borrow not to exceed $450,000 from the authority, and the loan should be repaid on a 30-year from the date of execution and deliver on the loan agreement, and shall bear interest at a rate not to exceed 3 4/10% per annual. Resolution 2021-012.
You have a question, Councilman Villalpando?
I was going to ask how we were going to pay for this, because I mean, I glanced through it and I didn't read that part, but I guess it's the ratepayers that are going to be paying for this, which that's my concern, because we keep increasing these rates for projects like this. We just sold property. Why aren't we using that funding to pay for something like this?
Mayor and Councilmember Villapando, in order for us to go into a loan agreement, it's based on the rate. But in essence, we'll be using the sale of land and infrastructure thereof from the high school and north of the Parkview commerce area. Based on that, we might end up paying the loan here in 3 years. But we do have to, in order for us to get a loan, it's based on our current rate and future rates.
Yeah, you got to secure it with something.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Well, as long as that's being done, because again, I don't want to rely on rates, because as we all know, all those costs inflate the rates. So, I mean, if we have the money on hand, I feel that we should pay it off right away.
It'll pay for a portion of it. Unfortunately, when 2 years ago or 2020, when the water rates, or actually the water connection fees, Based on what we were going to cover from the development fees, it's not going to cover everything because of the water fees that were selected from council, mayor and council back in January, wasn't it? January of 2020.
2019.
2019?
Yes, well, this is basically the portion of one of the 5 items on the water impact fees. It will be the water distribution lines. And that amount, it will be to pay that loan.
The loan.
Any further questions or comments?
Is this a fixed rate? The interest rate, the 3.4?
Yes, and it's also a forgivable loan as well, a portion of it as well.
Any other questions or comments?
No.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2021-012.
So motion by Councilman Gonzalez,
Second, Mayor.
second by Councilman Galindo. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action. Okay. Discussion and possible action to approve first reading by title only. Ordinance number 2021-007, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Summerton, amending the city code regarding the city parks and rec commission, article 16.2.4, terms of appointment, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jorge Lozano, City Attorney. On April 20th, 2021, the Summerton City Council approved Ordinance 2021 this might be
looks wrong.
A typo. So the ordinance that was approved on April 20th, 21 reduced the number of the Parks and Recreational Commissioners from 9 to 7 members. For the presentation and discussion, the Summerton Parks and Recreation Commission, pursuant to their January 20th, 2021 regular meeting, at that meeting, the commission supported the city council to revise the commission from 9 members to 7 members. Also, during that April 20th discussion, the city council directed staff to look into allowing only Summerton residents into the commission and grandfathering all those who currently are non-residents. Currently, the Summerton City Code allows 2 non-residents to sit on the commission. This evening, the recommendation by staff is to amend the city code to allow 2 individuals that reside outside the city limits to sit on this commission. However, the 2 at-large members would be selected from the geographical area of the 85350 zip code as determined by the United States Postal Service and also north of County 19th Street. This would benefit the city of Summerton residents as it would ensure that the 2 at-large members have a connection to the city of Summerton community. For example, children attending the same Summerton schools, playing in the same local recreational leagues, shopping locally in Summerton, or having extended family in Summerton, etc. So although the recommendation is the 85350 zip code, that portions of that zip code touch and in some areas go into the city of San Luis. And so the recommendation was to keep the 85350 designation, but cut it off at County 19th Street. So let's take a look at the proposed language first, this one. So essentially if this ordinance goes through, what you would be amending in the code is adding the language which is highlighted. Right now it stops at section B, no more than 2 of the members at the time of their appointment shall be non-residents of the city, period. That's how the ordinance, the city code currently reads. You would be adding of the city residing in the 85350 zip code area as determined by the United States Postal Service in north of County 19th Street. Now, currently the 2 non-residents, there's no limitation on who can serve. 2 non-residents could be someone living in San Luis, Mexico, Sonora, or someone in Mexicali that can travel here for the commission meetings, someone in the city of Yuma, Welton. Essentially anywhere anywhere that the council feels needs to be appointed. This new proposal obviously still allows for 2 non-residents, but it allows a little bit more connection to our city than what we've previously had. You can take a look at the map. So this is the proposed area where those 2 non-members can come from. Most of the areas are up in the Mesa, children attending the same, school district as Summerton kids here in town, up at the West Cocopa Reservation and the East Cocopa Reservation, and some of those areas in the county that I think have a strong connection to our city and can really benefit in the decision-making process of that commission. I think there's a slide also. Can you lower it down? If we did the entire zip code, then that would be it. It goes up to the border and to some areas in San Luis that might not be beneficial to the city. Mayor and Council, do you have any questions on this recommendation?
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mayor, to approve. I'll say.
There's a motion by Councilman Roldan. Second by Councilwoman Garcia. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Okay. Mayor and Council, this is a first reading by title only, and we'll go ahead and read the. Okay, so in ordinance number 2021-007, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Summerton, Arizona, amending the city code regarding the Parks and Recreation Commission, Article 16-2-4, terms of appointment, repealing any conflicting provisions, and providing for severability.
Item number 5, discussion and possible action to appoint one new member of the city of Summerton, member to the Summerton Parks and Rec Commission amongst the following interested individuals: Roger Diaz and Juan Lopez. And we just heard nominee number 3 withdraw. So, okay, there's 2. Gonna open it for comments. Are the candidates here if they want to say a few words, or if not, then we'll.
Yeah, my name is Juan Lopez. I'm a resident from Summerton, 609 East Jefferson Street. And I've been a resident all my life. I'm one of the nominees for the Parks and Rec Commission. And I guess a little bit about myself. I've been participating in sports in Summerton for over 15 years. I've been coaching baseball, basketball now. I'm presently coaching basketball, flag football, soccer. And I'm also currently coach and player of a softball team here in Summerton. And I am currently working with Mr. Mesa with preparing a Summerton baseball clinic for the kids, a free baseball clinic for the kids here in Summerton in February and January. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Diaz here.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, Jesus Mesa, Parks and Rec Director. Mr. Diaz wasn't able to be here, but he's also been involved in activities, and the Summerton Parks and Rec Commission are recommending any of the candidates here before you, since they've been involved. They're active members here in the community, and they would like to complement the vision of the commission.
You can't recommend nominees, council appoints. So it's
Mayor, I just want to add something. I would like to recommend Mr. Juan Lopez. I've known Mr. Lopez for many years, and I know he's very involved with kids. He represented Summerton for many years in the state, won several state tournaments, and continue working, even though he had no kids in the teams. He was part of that and continue helping making the league strong. Him and Mr. Enrique Porces at that time, and I think when you're volunteering, when no kids in the league or in the team, I think that tells a lot about what you want for this community. So for that reason, I want to nominate Mr. Juan Lopez for the Parks and Rec Commission.
I second that, Mayor.
Okay, there's a motion by Councilman Roldan, second by Councilman Castillo, Vice Mayor Castillo. Also in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Here, Messi.
Yeah.
I just want to thank Ms. Leggett for your time coming. This is like your third time you approached the council. Really appreciate that. It's a big commitment you're doing for the community, for yourself. And I just wish you come back and continue your support with the commission and help us in any way, because we always looking for volunteers. So I really appreciate that, that you're still, even though the circumstances, you're still part of it, and you're still a member of this community. So I thank you for that.
And I want to also mention, thank you for call to the public. We did take into account your words, and you said that it was we did make some changes, like allowing members that live within the 5350, and I think it makes sense what you told council. And Juan, welcome. I know Juan since we're in kindergarten, so for I'm not gonna say their age, for over 40 years. Welcome. Item number 6, discussion and possible action to approve purchase of Meraki equipment for City Hall network, wireless access, and video camera system through Logicalis Inc.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jorge Lozano, Chief Personnel Officer, City Attorney. This afternoon, we're asking for permission to purchase equipment from Logicalis Incorporated. The city is in need of having a fast, secure, and reliable network, wireless access points, and camera systems. Staff has looked into 3 vendors. These are all state vendors, 2 state vendors and one private sector vendor. We believe that the best deal for the city is purchasing equipment through Logicalis Incorporated. Now, today we're simply asking to purchase equipment. We have not asked the council for any type of labor. This is because this is part 1 of a larger project. In a future meeting, we'll bring forward another proposal which includes wiring and the labor. That the reason why we want council to move ahead with purchasing this equipment is because we had a deadline through Logicalis that would allow us to save up to 25% on this purchase. Essentially, at the close of their budgetary year, which is July 30th. Afterwards, prices were gonna be increased. So they're extending us that price if we move forward. IT department, along with purchasing, has looked at the equipment, and they've determined that the equipment offered through Logicalis makes the most sense for the city. Now, if you recall back when the city hall was built, it's been about 5 years. I don't remember if any type of IT was budgeted into the building. It looks like that line item, which was close to $1 million, was completely deleted. And I think at that time, the council and the manager had a strong confidence in their IT staff to wire everything. I'm not even sure, they might have even carried stuff from the old city hall, and it's been more than 5 years. Our IT infrastructure is falling down, and
you're saying council had high trust?
Well, no, I'm saying the They have confidence in the ability for
That's the
that
reason
work
that-
to be done internally.
Well, because at that time we bought a bunch of cameras. And,
Yeah.
that was my question.
And so this is the
Councilman
word.
Villalpando.
Sorry, I'm sorry. This is a picture of what ended up happening with our in-house support. You can scroll down. That is essentially what I call the Christmas tree lighting, where they just kept on plugging more lights and plugging until our network and our wiring looks like that. So we are asking, at least with today, the purchase that we're asking authority for is indoor and outdoor cameras. This new system is cloud-based, which means it's easier and faster to access the footage. Cameras we already have just store 7 days of recording. Getting these new ones will retain 25 days. And this is important and support also to our police department, who continuously rely on our cameras and for law enforcement around the area. Upgrading the cameras will also increase the quality of their video recordings. Cameras have audio and microphones. There's no servers or software needed, and it's capable of 3 times optical zoom. The network equipment that is being purchased with today's authorization is a router, firewall, switches, and access points. This improves the IT infrastructure for City Hall, meaning it would increase the security and reliability of our network, sustain future business processes. We know Yuma County is moving forward with optical cable. This would be able to support that as well. The system probably is able to support us for the next 10 years as technology change. This system will be able to take in those added loads. Again, it stays up to date with technology to be able to implement the camera system in future projects. It's all cloud-based. It's able to handle more traffic, which means other buildings can be connected to City Hall. The amount is $101,000, and this amount can be purchased and has been approved in this year's budget, and there's funding for that through the various grants that we've been receiving. Any questions on that item, Mayor?
Mayor and Council, if you will. This is just a portion in terms of what we're looking at overall for City Hall and the connection thereof of all buildings, which is part of the fiber that we will be installing here with the city, which it needs to happen. This is the whole portion or part thereof from Yuma County in itself of the 1 gig to 100 gig accessibility across the county. This is just a portion for the business. What is part of the whole contract and or RFP that Yuma County did is this portion of the business aspect of it. In itself, it will be access for residents with some sort of other company other than the ones whoever's gonna bid on this. But it's for us to connect at least for accessibility from 1 gig to 100. Right now, the equipment that's being used right now, I think I'm not too sure if it's even up to 200 megabytes. We were going to do up to 500, but 500 megabytes will not take us into tomorrow, at least for the city of all buildings connectivity from cameras which would include not the cameras that we're going to install at the traffic lights, but those connections will be from all the way from County 15 traffic light all the way down to obviously City Hall and then sent up to Yuma County, but we wouldn't have the accessibility without the equipment in order to take us into another 10, 15, 20 years.
Thank you, Mayor. This is phase 1 of this process. What price tag are we looking to complete it? What's the price tag total?
Which is the wiring, which is next. It's about $75,000 just for the wiring alone and labor.
And that's it.
And this should be it, unless there's other.
Wiring and labor for the other portion?
Yeah, the other portion is gonna be around 10,000, another 10,000. I mean,
For the labor.
100,000.
Oh, 100,000.
Uh-huh.
It's not the,
For the wiring.
for the wiring?
Uh-huh.
And labor, or is that still not labor?
That's included labor.
Yeah, with labor.
Thanks.
Were your cameras ever installed, Sam? Were your cameras ever installed years ago? No? They were bought, right? Yeah, so. Okay, so any other questions or comments?
You know, I'll make a comment on this. I mean, I just looking at those pictures, you know, it's you know, it's really, I think for me, it's really disappointing that we have this, you know, with the, you know, and how long has this been like this?
It's been for years now, and that this is the conversation that we had. I believe it was back in December regarding this issue. When the previous IT folks that were getting all the information, and there was movement with staff, and in order for us to get into that point, it has been taking us several months because of that movement of staff and trying to get into that one area that what is recommended, but one person, what is versus what's recommended by some of these vendors, obviously, is very different. But in essence, what we're looking at, even with our wiring, if you understand technology, it was recommended to put, not from our vendors, but from previous folks in our staff, to put Cat 5, but Cat 5 is already over and done with. We're looking at Cat 6 now, which is in order for us to get us into the fiber connectivity.
Yeah. So quite honestly, this is more a need than a want, right?
And the biggest issue is the security. Even the routers that we currently have, they're wide open. So it's public, but anybody at this point can connect to any of these lines and pretty much connect into a system. That we're trying to eliminate. The other portion that is costly is that most of this will be hosted, which is great because if we don't have the staff support, not because they're not great or anything, but limited in terms of time of what they can do with equipment itself. Some of this information is more a software. And so if our hosted service can assist in making this a little bit faster, because obviously they're 24/7. And that's what's great about it. 24/7 access anytime and speak with anybody. That's the biggest difference.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve purchase of Meraki equipment for City Hall network wireless access and video camera systems through Logic Callis.
So motion by Vice Mayor Castillo.
Second.
Second by Councilman Roldan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion
Thank you.
carries.
Is there a name?
We're not gonna get
Item number 7, discussion and possible action to award the lowest responsible bidder to K Constructors for Valley Vista Water Main Extension Project. The base bid amount of $1,388,634.87.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. Invitation to bid for the construction of the above-mentioned project was advertised in the Yuma Daily Sun. We also advertised this project into our city website. We place the bid package on our website and also send the bid package to different plan rooms. The design work and specification were prepared by GHD, which is an ADQ consultant engineer. The project involves the construction of a new 12-inch PVC water main line along Highway 95, starting from Cesar Chavez going west to the Valley Vista apartment complex. On Thursday, June 17, 2021, we opened 3 sealed bids for the above reference project. We revised and analyzed the bid submittals. The results are attached in the bid tabulation record. The lowest bidder was K Constructors LLC with a base bid amount of $1,388,634.87. This amount includes $126,239.53 in contingency. The engineer cost estimate was $990,000. The total grant amount for this project is $919,714. The financial impact will be this amount as a grant. The city will be contribute $150,000 through our water CIP, and the Yuma County Department of Housing will contribute $318,920.87 in order to fund this project. Mayor, Council, do you have any questions for me?
Mayor, I just want to abstain from the since it's part of our.
Any questions, comments? No. Is there a motion?
I will, go ahead.
So motion by Councilman Villalpando,
I'll second.
second by Councilman Gonzalez. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Abstain.
opposed? Motion carries. One abstain.
Thank you.
Summary of current events.
Mayor and Council, I apologize for the earlier presentations, but as right before the presentation, I did get an email from our University of Arizona results for our early warning COVID test, and it does show a continuous level of concern too. But there is an increase on certain lift stations. And what I'll do is as soon as tomorrow morning, I'll speak with Sam to get some of the areas, those areas that are level of concern that have increased or extremely high, we'll kind of put those neighborhoods into perspective for families to get vaccinated if they haven't done so and or get tested. There's areas that are high, but we don't know where it's coming from in terms of the reasoning for it, because we know that there is a high percentage of residents that have been vaccinated. So just because you haven't vaccinated, that does not mean that you won't get COVID. It's just that it's not going to affect you as if you did not get vaccinated. So that may be the case as well. But just to inform you that that's why it was kind of off, because it was high in some of the neighborhoods. And so tomorrow morning, I'll send you all the information that's required for all the neighborhoods that are kind of high. And there's just a couple of them, actually 2 that are really high. The other ones we'll keep as the level 2. But on Friday, we did get the results and they kind of dropped down, which was great in the right direction. But then obviously today's results here about 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, it did increase. So I'll send you the areas as well. For Chief De Anda, obviously he did mention the Delta variant and getting all that information as far as how many people have been vaccinated in Yuma County. And many people have been tested maybe twice, 3 times, but it's an ongoing testing site. And vaccinated people, like I mentioned, can still spread and also get COVID as well. At present, RCBH staff is creating a new list of home patient visitations that our personnel will begin attending to. So it's a great success story that our police department are looking at our senior centers, senior folks to go visit them, making sure everything's up to par and are in compliance with their medications and any problems that they may have. One more item is that not only do we have the Delta variant, but there is a Lambda variant that is coming, and it's from Peru. And that one, it seems to have a less effect on the vaccinated folks. So it's still under review, but the vaccine doesn't seem to hold that off very well. That's the Lambda variant. Ms. Carmen Juarez, Community Development.
evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. Just to inform you that the regular meeting scheduled for August 16 for the Planning and Zoning Commission has been canceled. And we have a special meeting that is going to be scheduled for August 30th at 6 p.m. here at the council chambers. And the reason for that is to allow staff enough time to do the proper notification, the publication in the local newspaper that is required by state statute for the item on the agenda, which is the rezoning for the high school land. And this happened because last month we had to cancel the meeting for lack of quorum, and we had to move it to the following regular meeting, which is too short of time for us to do the publication. So we had to cancel the regular meeting, but schedule a special meeting at the end, August 30th at 6 p.m. So in order to move forward the process. Also, staff is reviewing several new projects that could potentially land in the city within the next few months. Among these projects, we have received remodel plans for a future marijuana dispensary to be generally located on County 15 and Smith Way up on the Mesa. We also received new construction plans for a mixed-use project on Main Street. This is for a food court and some apartments. And other projects that are ongoing, and it seems to all of us that it's taking too long, is Asadero Campus and La Michoacana Plaza, but they are moving forward slowly but surely. Thank you.
Jesus Mesa. Carmen, are all the, is the Planning and Zoning Commission full now? Or?
Yes, actually, I'm going to come back to you at the next meeting because we have two seats that are being expired this year, but the current commissioners are already requesting to be reappointed. Okay. Remember that these are a 2-year rotating basis, so 2 years for 3 and then 2 years for 4. So every year I have to come back to you if when they expire. Okay. So, but I'll be back just to have a full commission.
So I want to remind council that if you have any candidate that you would like, that this is the time that they can apply.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council. Just want to mention that staff received a 90% submittal from NEI for the skate park project at Joe Munoz Park. We are reviewing, and the design is scheduled to be finished by the end of this month. Also, we met with Hansberger, which is our selected contractor for the HVAC project at the community center. Just want to mention they're providing excellent customer service. They're working around our schedule basically because we have 10 upcoming reservations until December the 3rd. And the project is scheduled to be finished by December 24th. Also,
December 24th?
Yeah, this year, December 24th. Yes, and we're
gonna have a party for you.
Good.
Yes, and also the basketball league for youth basketball started yesterday. Good turnout. We have 11 teams into 3 different categories and a total participation of 86 participants. Thank you.
Sarina.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. Currently, I'm working on making sure all the budget numbers have been uploaded to the system properly, and they're reflecting the way that they've reflected on our reports, as well as preparing the system with staff to update the utility water rates. And I'm working on the bond indebtedness report, which is due next month. So, and working on several projects for the ERP update, as well as the all kiosk. That's all I have for you.
On the rate change for the utility bills, that was approved June 4th of 2019. FYI. Mr. Palacios.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. An update on the Cesar Chavez traffic signal project. APS finally completed the relocation of their lines. Now Central Link and Spectrum are working on their relocations. The EP subcontractor, Westmore Electric, already installed the new traffic signal poles at the intersection of Cesar Chavez and Main Street, which is very good news for us. I don't know if you have the time to take a look on those poles because looks really nice for, my opinion, different, and I think the intersection will be very nice. On the high school sewer lift station project, contractors started the project last week. They already removed the existing concrete ditch and installed 4 temporary walls for the starting the dewatering. Thank you.
Mr. Hector Tapia.
Mayor and council members, just to mention that I'll be presenting on the Rural Policy Forum in Sahuarita. The intent of this forum is to combine economic development and city planning. So I'll be presenting our Summerton, what we're doing in Summerton, and also how we are helping the small businesses here in Summerton. That's in a statewide conference, but it's related to economic development. Local First Arizona is the one, the agency leading this forum. So I'll be there on Friday morning, just going in and out, but I will be representing Summerton. Thank you.
Chief Juarez.
Mayor, Council, good evening. School year, the beginning of the school year went very well. We have created we've had for the last 3 or 4 years, a liaison program that attaches one of our officers to each school. And we had our officers show up for the first day of the elementary schools, and it went very well. Our drivers are doing real good and following the regulations. We're also reminding the public to keep their flatbeds inside their property. We've been continually asking the public and educating them about keeping their RVs off the streets, their buses, and some of those semi-trailers. So we continue to work on that. We do have a new school resource officer at Summerton Middle School. We went ahead and removed Officer Madrigal, who we just promoted as a sergeant. And then we have right now Carlos Valderrama is our new resource officer. And lastly, I just want to remind everyone that we have an adult academy scheduled for October. So if anyone's interested, we'll be having applications here and more information online pretty soon. Thank you.
Are you going to have 2 SR officers at the middle school?
Just one. One of them was removed.
Oh, okay.
And we went ahead and put another one.
Because I saw a picture, 2 of them.
They're probably just having lunch.
Just asking.
Mr. Lozano.
They were actually being introduced. So they were doing, yeah.
Mayor and Council, just on the HR side, HR is putting together a summary of benefits at a glance, which kind of will assist for future recruitments. What we want to do is put a dollar figure as to all the benefits that are being provided in terms of health insurance, dental, vision, tuition reimbursement opportunities, and any type of item that we consider to be a benefit. We want to put a dollar value to that so that we can put out everybody's base salary plus the additional benefit that you're getting by working for the city. So I'm hoping at least for the retreat that's coming up, that maybe we can have those numbers for you so that we can all take a look at those. This afternoon, obviously, the mayor participated in a welcome video. So now we're putting together a video with department heads and the mayor that we can play at our onboarding and orientation, so that we don't keep inviting people to repeat the same thing over and over again. I think it'll be their introduction to mayor and council. That's all. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, and for future agenda items, we do have 2 for next week. Will be the land sales, and also discussion and presentation of our R16 and or R15 as well for our next council meeting. And that concludes.
Councilwoman Garcia. Councilman Villalpando.
I actually have something. Surprise, surprise. Well, with the new high school coming in, I haven't spoken to some of the parties that might be involved, but we are looking to launch between myself and County Supervisor Martin Porchas is funding available for kids that might want to learn golf. You know, golf is a sport that will be played at the high school level. And we want to try and get our kids involved in playing that. So we are looking to do an alumni challenge tournament somewhere between, it's either the second or third week of October. And it's in the works. So hopefully it's something that the city could possibly help us out a little bit as far as promoting it. But like I said, you know, this is very, very, very new. We're still trying to work out the logistics with also the Cocopa Indian tribe. So again, this will be targeting probably the younger age, probably middle school down to grade school. Those are the kids that we want to target. Just to get them prepped and ready for high school.
Yes, Mayor, I have a couple of things, and since we have the Mr. Castillo as president of the Summerton School Board, for a future reference, and as a courtesy, if you could invite the council for the new teachers orientation. I know that some council members have attended. I don't know if they were invited or not, as well as the city manager. And I asked the city manager if there was an invitation, and he said that not that he was aware of. But I know that. Yeah, so I think that's it's kind of like an event that new teachers are coming in, plus not new but present staff attends. So it would be nice for them to get to know the council and, you know, etc. But that's just something that can be brought up for the next year. Also, I just want to say that I'm very excited that the School Facilities Board and the Summerton High School kickoff meeting will be starting tomorrow. So that's a big plus. And just as different stakeholders ask you, when construction of the new high school will begin, you can pretty much tell them that the intent is to begin construction in late November or December. So this year. So there's some glitches that we need to work on with the some of the agreement with the city that I already talked to the city manager about it. But overall, we're moving on, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, I wasn't invited to the school for the past years, and I was here from the teachers. They invited the vice mayors, but the mayor didn't.
That's
like Vice Mayor Castillo.
I'll make sure to that you guys are included next year. You know, it was kind of an oversight, I guess, on our end. But you know what, I do want to say, you know, I want to thank, you know, the city manager, you know, Jerry and Martha for attending our welcome back event. Last Friday, you know, it felt great to see all those teachers and all those staff members kind of like ready to start the year. You know, I think it's those little things that I think we kind of take for granted at times. And, you know, just being there brought some sense of normalcy. So I want to thank you guys for taking that time and giving your speech. So, and I'll make sure, you know, for future events to invite council and mayor. So.
I understand Ian was better looking.
So that's all I have, Mayor.
Councilman Galindo. Councilman Roland.
I didn't get invited either.
The only thing I have is I talked to city manager today that We meet every 2 weeks to review the agenda, and it's gotten better. And now we have a full agenda when we meet, and if there's addendum. So thank you, staff, for getting that done, because it was here for a couple months. We were just getting bombarded at the end. So now then we're getting in. And also when I meet with him, I asked for him to review the capital improvement projects. That's we have a robust CIP program this year, and I asked them to ask staff, whoever's in charge of the CIPs, to give a bi-weekly update on them, and have a baseline schedule, and if some deadlines if they slide, I want to see some documentation why it would slid, because we do have a bunch of CIP projects, and all of them are important, from the sign here at the entrance of Summerton to the bigger projects. And I want to keep a close eye on it, because I don't want, another year where we don't spend our monies, and then we, like I said, every year is a struggle especially for that, and we don't pay attention to it. So that's something that I am going to keep an eye on, and hopefully we get. There's every 2 weeks we get a report, not something that's cut and pasted. So that's something that I talked to Mr. Cabrera about today. It's 8:11. Meeting's adjourned.